In this video, I'm breaking down 6 major differences between Nightmare and Horrific difficulty in Age of Darkness Final Stand. Things that will completely change how you play. Stick around until the end. I'll also share some essential tips to increase your chances of surviving the Nightmare Final Stand. Let's get into it. Hero death is permanent on Nightmare. Unlike lower difficulties, if your hero dies on Nightmare difficulty, they cannot be respawned. This adds a massive layer of tension and strategic depth, as losing your hero means losing their powerful abilities and aura buffs for the rest of the game. It's essential to manage their positioning carefully, pull back when health gets low, and use support units to keep them alive in heated battles. Final Stand Nightmare behavior. On Nightmare difficulty, any remaining nightmares during the final stand will not stay scattered across the map as they do on lower difficulties. Instead, they will all swarm on your keep, creating a relentless assault that requires airtight defenses. This means you can't rely on simply surviving waves. You must actively clear the map before the final night, or risk being overwhelmed from every direction. Elite Nightmares, the final stand threat. If you don't clear out the elite nightmares before the final wave on Nightmare difficulty, they will begin marching toward your keep, continuously attacking your defenses during the final stand. These powerful enemies won't just sit idle. They'll relentlessly pressure your walls and structures, causing massive damage over time. Leaving them unchecked until the final wave is a dangerous gamble. As they approach your keep, their attacks can lead to devastating breaches just when you need your defenses to hold the most. This can quickly snowball into an unstoppable siege that overwhelms you, forcing you to deal with multiple high-threat enemies while trying to protect your keep. Make sure to hunt down elite nightmares between waves and eliminate them before they can reach your walls. Failing to do so will leave you with fewer resources and weakened defenses when the final wave hits, making it much harder to survive the onslaught. The number of enemies during the final stand increases significantly with each difficulty level. On Horrific difficulty, players can expect to face around 40,000 to 45,000 enemies in the final wave. On Nightmare difficulty, this number roughly doubles, with some reports indicating up to 95,000 nightmares. This increase means that players must carefully manage their defenses, balance their army composition, and make strategic use of siege weapons to handle the sheer number of enemies effectively. The last wave in Nightmare difficulty is absolutely massive, and you need a strong combination of both towers and units to stand a chance. Simply relying on one type of defense won't be enough. You must create a layered defense with walls, siege weapons, and high-damage units to hold the line. If you're playing with the Order faction, catapults are an excellent choice due to their devastating wide-area damage, making them extremely effective at dealing with the huge enemy clusters that will be trying to break through. A combination of ballistas or catapults and a strong force of ranged units will ensure that you can handle both the massive numbers of enemies and the powerful elites that come with them. Positioning is everything. Keep your ranged units safely behind walls and layer your defenses with ballistas and siege weapons positioned to fire into the largest clusters of enemies. On lower difficulties, you can pause the game at any time to issue commands, plan your defenses, or manage your economy without any pressure. However, in Nightmare difficulty, you cannot pause the game in this way, meaning every decision must be made in real time while dealing with the relentless enemy assaults. That being said, there is a way to temporarily stop the action. Opening the in-game menu by pressing the escape key will effectively pause everything. This can be useful if you need a short break, want to assess your situation, or simply need a moment to think. However, while the game is paused in the menu, you cannot issue any commands, adjust unit positioning, or manage buildings, meaning you have to make all strategic decisions on the fly once you return to the game. This restriction forces players to develop stronger multitasking skills, improve their ability to make quick tactical decisions, and refine their ability to predict enemy movements without relying on frequent pauses. It also makes Nightmare difficulty significantly more stressful and rewarding, as you must constantly stay engaged without a safety net. Unpredictable enemy attacks are more dangerous. In both Horrific and Nightmare difficulty, you'll face random enemy attacks that can come from any direction, making it crucial to constantly monitor your base's defenses. However, on Nightmare difficulty, these surprise attacks become much more frequent and involve larger groups of enemies compared to Horrific. In Horrific, while random enemy groups can still strike, they tend to be smaller and less frequent, giving you more time to react. On Nightmare, though, the larger groups of enemies can attack more often, forcing you to stay on high alert at all times. This means you can't afford to ignore any part of your base. Vulnerable corners or poorly defended areas can be exploited by these surprise attacks. To handle this, you'll need to spread out your defenses, position units strategically around your base, and have mobile forces ready to respond to threats at a moment's notice. Now that we've covered the 6 biggest differences between Nightmare and Horrific difficulty, let's talk about how to actually survive it. Nightmare is brutal, but with the right strategy, you can dramatically improve your chances of making it through the final stand. Here are some essential tips to help you stay alive and push your defenses to the limit. Prolonging the Death Knight tactic. A clever tactic is to intentionally prolong a Death Knight by keeping a small group of Nightmares alive while you rebuild and gather. Use this time to strengthen your defenses, train units, and optimize your economy before triggering the next wave. By allowing a controlled number of enemies to survive, you can safely extend the time between waves, giving your production buildings a chance to catch up, fortifications to be repaired, and army composition to be fine-tuned. This strategy works especially well on Nightmare difficulty, where every extra unit or resource can make the difference between survival and annihilation. Check out this video where I successfully used this tactic to prolong the Death Knight and win at the end. Hero flanking during Death Knights. A particularly effective tactic, especially during the first Death Knights, 1 to 3, is to use your hero to flank the attacking Nightmares from behind while your defenses hold the front. This works exceptionally well with Marek, whose abilities can wipe out large clusters of enemies while drawing minimal aggro. By attacking from the rear, you not only thin the horde more efficiently, but also gain valuable XP and resources while keeping pressure off your walls. Check this video out where I am showcasing this advanced tactic and how you can use it strategically to gain the upper hand early on. Destroy crystals before they spawn. Destroying corrupted crystals before they activate will immediately advance the game to the final day before a Death Knight, giving you approximately 4 minutes to prepare for the impending wave. This tactic allows you to control the spawn location of the wave, as enemies will emerge from the destroyed crystal's position. However, be cautious. Triggering the wave early reduces the time available for resource gathering and fortification. To minimize this drawback, consider destroying the crystal just before the final day begins, thereby limiting time loss while still reaping the benefits of strategic wave management. Hope you enjoy the video. Check out my other videos, and please, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.